Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to completely flip the way you think about church administration. It is so easy to picture parish offices as these places filled with dry bureaucracy, endless paperwork, and just tedious filing. But what if I told you that maintaining those files is actually a profound sacred service? Today, we're exploring ecclesiastical record-keeping, diving deep into the source material from the Good Shepherd Ecumenical Seminary's Certificate in Church Administration. We are going to see exactly how preserving ink on paper is really all about preserving the living history of the faithful. Our source text actually anchors us with this incredibly profound thought. Records are the memory of the church. This right here is our foundation for today. You see, maintaining these records, it isn't just an administrative chore. It's an act of simple justice to the people whose lives are recorded in those registers. When a church keeps proper records, it guarantees that its history, its sacramental life, and its administrative actions are preserved faithfully for future generations. It's a vital pastoral benefit that literally safeguards the story of the flock. So, here is our roadmap for the explainer today. We'll start with the theology of the sacred service, unpack the canon law requirements for essential registers, break down the anatomy of an entry, trace the archival lifecycle, and then we'll wrap up with modern best practices. All right, let's jump straight into Section 1, the sacred service beyond bureaucracy. The source text uses a really specific, powerful word here, diakonia. Administration is a form of diaconia. That means it's a sacred service rendered to the church, absolutely not a position of personal privilege. The theological roots of this idea go all the way back to the book of Acts, when the apostles appointed deacons to administer the daily distribution of food, just so they could focus on prayer. That was the earliest recognition that organized, accountable administration is absolutely essential alongside the ministry of the Word and Sacrament. So the next time you're updating a parish census or filing a report, remember that you are participating in a tradition of pastoral care that is thousands of years old.
And that philosophy directly informs our concrete duties in Section 2, Essential Registers, the canon law requirements.
We're moving from the broad philosophy down to the concrete books you actually need on your shelf. Baptismal, marriage, confirmation, and death or burial registers are not optional. They are strictly required by canon law. These aren't just casual sign-in sheets, guys. They are permanent legal and ecclesiastical documents of the highest importance. Now, a parish will obviously also track censuses, financial records, and meeting minutes because that's just good practice. But those sacramental registers, they are the non-negotiable core of the church's memory.
So what actually goes into these crucial books? Well, that brings us to Section 3, Anatomy of an Entry, Accuracy and Permanence.
Take a standard baptismal entry, for example. You've got the date, the person's name, their parents and sponsors, the minister, and the witnesses. Now, why is this meticulous, borderline obsessive detail so critical? Because decades from now, that person might need to rely on this exact entry to prove their eligibility for confirmation, or for marriage, or even for ordination. If the entry is incomplete or just illegible, it causes very real canonical difficulties for their life. That is exactly why every single entry has to be verified at the time it's made, written clearly, and kept absolutely secure. Now, once an entry is made, how does it age over the decades? Let's explore Section 4, Archival Lifecycle from Entry to Eternity. Every record goes through a 4-step life cycle. First up is preservation. You have to actively protect paper from fire, water damage, pests, and honestly, just the simple decay of paper and ink over time. Step 2 is organization, meaning you need a consistent filing system. The golden rule from the source text here is brilliant. Organize it so that a future administrator, someone totally unfamiliar with how you do things today, could still navigate it easily. Step 3 is retention, which is so important, we'll highlight it in a second. And Step 4 is access. This means ensuring you can find information for legitimate inquiries while fiercely protecting the confidentiality of the personal data inside. And here is the most crucial takeaway for this entire life cycle. Sacramental registers are retained permanently. While your routine parish correspondence or bulletin drafts might have a shorter retention schedule and eventually just get tossed, sacramental records are kept forever. They literally extend the work of a single generation of ministry into eternity. So how do we apply all of this in today's highly digital world? Let's look at Section 5, Modern Best Practices, Chaos versus Order. This deals with a very modern dilemma, the screen versus the page. The source material refers to this as digitization with discipline. You've got your digital backup, which is a very wise supplement. Scanning registers to a secure cloud is a great idea. But then you have the canonical paper original. Unless a specific diocesan policy explicitly states otherwise, the paper register remains the ultimate legal authority. A digital copy simply cannot replace the canonical original. Relying solely on digital records without a secure paper original opens a parish up to massive, massive risks of data loss and canonical invalidity. To really empower you to safeguard this history, here is a rapid-fire rundown of best practices directly from the seminary's administration module. Number 1, use permanent ink. Never, ever use pencil in a register. It fades and it can be altered. Number 2, keep paper registers in a fireproof safe or a locked, secure cabinet. Number 3, maintain secure backup copies in a separate physical location or a highly secure cloud. Number 4, designate one responsible person as the clear custodian of those records and always have a line of succession if they are unavailable. And finally, conduct a thorough inventory of your records and archives at least once a year. These are the tactical rules that will protect your flock's history from administrative chaos. We've covered a lot today: the theology of administration, the rigid requirements of canon law, and the very practical steps to keep your archives secure. But it all comes back to this one idea: church administration is an act of love and an act of justice, which leaves us with this final question to chew on. When a future generation looks at your parish registers, what story of stewardship are they going to find? Will they find a chaotic, fading set of notes, or will they find a meticulously preserved memory of a faithful church? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep learning.